All right, it is 7 o'clock. Call the January meeting to order. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody can face the flag. I'll go ahead and start us off. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, next is the approval of the agenda. The agenda's been circulated. Items to act on this evening. Any other additions or corrections before we start the meeting? All right, seeing none, it is the first meeting of the year, so we are scheduled to reorganize. First order of business is the election of officers. Entertain nominations for president.
I nominate John Madison.
I'll second that.
Third.
Thank you. Jump at once. I joke and say that says something about the job. I think I'm the only one dumb enough to do it.
No, you do a great job.
Yeah, we appreciate you doing the job.
Thank you. Any other nominations?
It's too late, I already moved
Okay. All those in favor of John Madison serving as president for the 2024 calendar year, signify by saying aye.
in. Aye.
Any opposed? Nominations for vice president?
I nominate Carla Bryant.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other nominations? All those in favor of Carla Bryant serving as vice president for the upcoming year, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? And secretary of the board.
I nominate Brian Coontz for secretary.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion or nominations? Seeing none, all those in favor of Brian Koontz serving as secretary for 2024, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, I think that covers officers for now. We'll move on to resolution 2024-1-4, which is routine. We do this every year. This just solidifies that our meetings will continue to be held on the second Monday of each month, January through December, here in the Media Center at 7 p.m.
Do we accept resolution 2024-1-4?
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2024-1-4, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is the appointment of our general counsel and our corporation secretary and corporation treasurer. So we're keeping Hayes, Copenhaver, Kreider, Harvey as our general counsel. Obviously, with bond issues and other things, we use special counsel, Jane Herndon with Ice Miller. We also consult with Michelle Cooper, who's provided good guidance for us from time to time, but we're suggesting that we maintain the relationship with Hayes, Copenhaver, Kreider, Harvey. For general counsel, of course, reappoint Stephanie Morgan as our corporation secretary and Kim Riley as corporation treasurer.
I make a motion that we accept resolution 2024-1-5.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2024-1-5 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I think that handles our reorganization business. Next, we'll move on to approval of minutes. We have minutes in your packet from the December 11th, 2023 work session and our regularly scheduled meeting. Those are in your packet. Any additions or corrections to those minutes as they were prepared?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from the December 11th monthly meeting and the December 11th work session.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Any other discussion or corrections? If not, all those in favor of approving the minutes of our December 11th meetings as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Those minutes will stand approved. Next is comments from the floor. Didn't see anyone that signed up to speak. Is there anyone that wishes to speak this evening? All right, if not, we'll have the minutes note that fact that no one wished to speak. Board President's comments, I'll be brief. Just hope everybody had a good Christmas break and back ready for the new year. And I'm sure we'll be out at the baseball field for rainy days here before too long. It seems like the spring goes quickly. So again, hope everyone's recharged and ready to go. I do also want to thank Ashley Beavers. I saw we had another I Am a Viking post with Dr. Seward. I think that's a really good way to get the word out, and as we are learning, we have to toot our own horn a little bit. We're in a competition for students and for dollars, and we have to tell our story. So I appreciate Ashley taking the lead on that. I think that's a good way to communicate some of the good things and good alumni from Blue River Valley. So thank you, Ashley. Mr. McCormick.
A couple things. I want to thank the students and staff for a smooth start to our second semester. I know we're early into the second semester, but things have been pretty productive and quiet as people get back in the saddle for 2024. Secondly, I want to thank the board members and the administrative team for a productive retreat this past Saturday. Thank Mr. Madison for hosting us at Defer Duran in his Newcastle office. Lots of strategic planning with facilities, curriculum, leadership, and district finances took place this past Saturday. We have a lot of great initiatives and programming going on across our district. I had the chance as a teacher myself to work at a school district where teamwork and high expectations took our school to national blue ribbon status not that long ago. I worked for an administrative team and board that believed that a rising tide raises all ships. Put another way, high expectations across the district benefits everyone. We are operating with that same philosophy in mind here at Blue River Valley. I am pleased and proud of what we are accomplishing and the direction we are headed. And again, I want to thank the board, the administrative team, as well as our teachers and staff for all the hard work going on across our district. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we'll move into some of the routine matters. The financial report, resolution 2024-1-1. Those were provided to us for review. Questions or concerns on the financial report?
Move we accept resolution 2024-1-1 as submitted.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anything else? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2024-1-1, the December financial report as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is 2024-1-2, which is the claims report. Again, that was circulated and provided to us. Questions or concerns on that report?
I make a motion that we accept resolution 2024-1-2.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other questions? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2024-1-2, the monthly claims report as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next is the personnel report. I'll read through this quickly. Resignation, non-certified staff member Lexi Neal, special education paraprofessional, effective December 20th. Resignation, non-certified staff member Casey Hauser, special education paraprofessional, effective December 20th. Transfer, certified staff member Megan Arnold from Title I to classroom teacher under a temporary contract, effective January 3rd, 2024. Hiring certified staff member Kaylin Sears, Title I teacher, temporary contract, effective January 3rd. Hiring extracurricular staff member Andrew Jaggers as eSport coach, effective January 3rd. Hiring of extracurricular staff member Connor Conwell, eSport coach, effective January 3rd. Going to remove non-certified position boys volleyball from the extracurricular assignments, effective January 3rd. promotion of non-certified staff member Robert Williams as Assistant Maintenance Director, rate of pay $18 per hour, effective January 2nd. And hiring of extracurricular staff member Beth Goff as girls softball coach, effective January 8th. So those are the items on the personnel report, resolution 2024-1-3.
I make a motion that we accept resolution 2024-1-3.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Anything else before we vote? All those in favor of adopting resolution 2024-1-3, the personnel report as presented, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? That brings us to old business. Is there any old business that we need to address this evening?
I believe so, Mr. Madison.
All right, if not, we'll move on. Approval of student transfer report, which was in your packet. We have 3 students new to our district. Recommended approval. Is there a motion with regard to the transfer request list dated January 8th?
I move we accept the transfer request dated January 8th. Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Anything else? All those in favor of adopting the transfer request recommendations as presented, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, next is approval of a resolution authorizing the administration regarding calculations on the percentages in possible referendum question. The board, as part of our strategic plan and working with our financial counsel, have decided to at least explore the possibility of a referendum, which would bring additional revenues to the school, allow us primarily to generate funds for teacher raises. We are not committed to doing a referendum at this point. This is to allow Mr. McCormick and others to continue the exploration of that question. But I think we're unified that it's worth exploring. It's necessary for us to remain competitive. And we're still exploring it, but we see no reason not to at least take that step. So with that, yes, the resolution that is before us, I'll maybe hit a couple highlights. And this was prepared by Ice Miller, who is our special counsel. They help us with bond issues and are also going to help us, along with Stiefel on the financial side, consider whether or not a referendum is appropriate and whether or not we want to move forward with that. I won't read it word for word. It says, whereas Indiana Code permits us, to Public School Corporation, to adopt a resolution to place the referendum on the ballot, we believe it is necessary and that we can't carry out our duties unless we impose a referendum. We've been investigating that. The operating referendum statute requires certain procedures be followed. So it says, be it resolved that this board authorizes the board president and superintendent of the school corporation or his designee to continue to investigate the need for a referendum levy at the approximate maximum property tax rate of 25 cents. Such authorization includes communicating on behalf of the board such maximum tax rate to the Henry County Auditor in order to make any and all needed calculations under the statute. Members of the board and administration of the school corporation will continue to investigate and discuss the need for an additional revenue from such a referendum levy and a potential tax rate to be used in the calculation of those percentages to be included in the form of a public question, and the board expects to make a final determination of such tax rate at a subsequent meeting. Any officer of the board or the superintendent is hereby authorized, empowered, and directed on behalf of the school corporation to take any and all action person deems necessary or desirable to effectuate the foregoing resolution, and any such actions hereunder or heretofore made and taken be and hereby are ratified and approved. So then attached to that is a letter, proposed letter that will go to Debbie Walker, asking her Henry County Auditor for some additional information to calculate certain percentages, and we'll work with Stiefel. And again, we're not necessarily committing that we're going to do this, but I think we're all in agreement that we need to explore it further and see what opportunities it might provide for the corporation. So with that, any questions or concerns from the board? Or a motion to adopt the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Anything else? If not, all those in favor of adopting the resolution authorizing the administration regarding calculations on percentages and the possible referendum question signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next on our agenda is the adoption of the high school curriculum guide for 2024-2025. We talked a fair amount about curriculum at our retreat, and we have the curriculum guide here at our table. Ms. Whaley, any highlights you want to hit?
I kind of can go over what's new and what's changed from last year's. So, we've added finite as a possible mathematics course. I don't know if we'll have interest, but as a alternative to pre-calculating calculus for seniors. The state updated the work-based learning courses, so those are the same in there. They just updated, so we had to change it to match what the state had. Removed earth-based science as an option, because our science teachers are now going the full biomedical pathway route, so we don't really have that. If we want to go that route, we had to get rid of something, and that was what they chose as a department. Adding nutrition and wellness, hoping to be able to get at least that FACS class added back in. We added exploring education professions. We don't know if we'll have this opportunity, but if we can add the education pathway, that's the 8th grade class that our students can take, as well as the 9th grade class, which is the principles of teaching. And then the way the state goes, everyone's now in the 2025 cohort, so I just took out just the 2024 CTE pathway courses. So those were just something, which they don't exist for the state anymore anyways, so. Other than that, there's nothing that's different from last year's, other than those changes.
Any questions or motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Anything else? All those in favor of approving the high school curriculum guide for 2024-2025 as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next is approval of a memorandum of understanding with Indiana University's College Core Program. This was another thing discussed at our retreat as part of the curriculum discussion. I'm sure I won't do it justice, but essentially we're going to enter into an agreement with Indiana University, I believe primarily IU East, right? So, and they will assist us in partnering and allow us to offer up to 30 hours of college credit. Some of that I think might be on site, but most will be remote in some fashion. Is that a fair statement?
That's first statement.
Okay. But it will allow kids additional opportunities to pursue different classes that we may not have the enrollment to support or the teachers to support. I think there'll be some hybrid learning, so maybe they would be online one day with a teacher and then maybe not the next day kind of thing. So, but I think the administration is encouraged by what they've heard from IU East. We are encouraged as a board to continue to offer diverse course selections, even in a little bit of a non-traditional style, but it's another step in us trying to remain competitive and offer what kids need and keep options open for different careers. So, anything else that anybody wants to add, Mrs. Dickerson, Mr. McCormick, Ms. Whaley?
So ICC, pretty much you have to have some kind of understanding with the school. It does not, our kids that we qualify for Ivy Tech, they are welcome to still get their certificate through them. We just have to pick, and since our teachers that do that currently teach dual credit are through IU East, it was just an addendum to that to continue, and that, we thought that was our best option for Blue Ribbon. If we have students that are on Ivy Tech, they can continue, and that is recognized. We don't have to just pick one or the other. They have it, if they're close with their 30 that meet their criteria, Ivy Tech, it's accepted. So we can change that.
It doesn't really change our relationship with the Career Center or anything like that. They can still do all of those things. This is just an additional opportunity for additional classes.
Yeah, and they're accepted at any state, yeah, $0 accepted at any state university in Indiana, so it's basically just solidifying a partnership. It doesn't really change much what we're doing.
Questions or concerns? or a motion?
I make a motion that we go ahead and approve the addendum to the MOU for ACP Partners.
Second?
Motion and second. Anything else? All those in favor of adopting the addendum to the memorandum of understanding with Indiana University signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the last item that I have on our agenda for the regular meeting is the end of the year appropriation transfers, to keep all accounts positive. And Kim can correct me, but I think we do this every year. This is moving money within sub-accounts to keep everything flush. It's a routine practice, just make sure everything balances out, timing of income and expenses and all of that. Fair statement? Okay. So we've got a list of proposed transfers in each of the funds: education, operation, rainy day. Is there a motion to adopt the appropriation transfers as presented?
I move we approve the 2023 appropriation transfers.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor of approving the 2023 end of year transfers as presented signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That concludes our agenda for this evening. Anything else I missed? All right, if not, we will stand adjourned. Showing it's 7:22, we start the Board of Finance meeting at 7:30, so everybody can take a restroom break or visit a little bit, whatever, and we'll re-adjourn at 7:30.
Order. As our first order of business, the chair will accept nominations for Board of Finance President.
I nominate Misha Brown for president.
Second.
All right. First and second, any other nominations for Board of Finance President? Seeing none, all those in favor of Misha Brown as Board of Finance President, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Mr. Brown, I now relinquish the chair of the Board of Finance meeting to you to proceed with election of the secretary
Okay.
and then conduct of business. So
All
the chair is
right.
yours.
Okay, a nomination for secretary? Any nominations for secretary?
Nominate Ashley Beavers, Board of Finance Secretary.
Second.
Anyone else? All those in favor of Ashley Beavers being the secretary, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, welcome Ashley. Okay, first order of business is to review our investment report.
If you'll have this packet in front of you, if you turn to the next to the last page, here's the report, and then I'll put Mrs. Riley on the spot here in a second. So if you turn to that page, that is the report indicated on the agenda. And Mrs. Riley, if you want to fill us in, give us a brief narrative there.
This is a point where interest rates being high is very positive. We were approached by First Merchants, which is our bank, as far as setting up our accounts into a different way to appropriate a much higher interest rate. See that's reflected in our earnings that we receive each month, regular checking.
Anyone have any questions on that report?
So not really a question, but for anybody that's online or for the audience here, from this report indicates that based on our various funds, education operations, bonds, and cafeteria, we earned $115,560.23 in interest during 2023. So that's essentially interest income generated by utilizing the cash we have on hand.
Another comment, if you don't mind, for the folks enjoying the meeting from home. A note from Ms. Riley on the back that over 90% of the expenditures from the education fund are for teacher and staff salaries. So I think it's clear that we're working very hard to put the dollars where they impact the kids the most and continue to do that. So thank you for that note, Mrs. Riley. I know that's been our goal, and it's like we're doing a decent job of getting that.
And then the next
Okay.
part on the agenda, we're required by statute, and really this packet and this presentation, if you turn to the second page, we are required by law, by statute, by the Distressed Unit Appeals Board to make the board aware of our fiscal and qualitative indicators each year during this meeting. And so you really can just flip through page by page. The next page is a report on our financial condition, just a brief narrative there. And then there are 6 indicators that, again, you can look at each graph. There's a little narrative off to the right for each of those indicators. These graphs were taken directly off of DUAB's website for Blue River Valley. These are specific to our school district. So if anyone has any questions about any of the indicators, I or Kim can attempt to give you an answer on that. But again, we're just required by statute, by law, to present this information to you in
So we
some
don't have to
form
make
of
a
action.
motion.
I don't think so.
Okay, sure.
Just probably noted in the minutes that we did go over our fiscal indicators report and then probably put this with the
With that,
minutes.
okay.
And historically, have we posted this on our website?
No, I don't think so. I checked with our Stiefel rep, and this is more than sufficient to satisfy. Just going over, making you aware of it. Satisfies the law. And if you, this is not a big deal, but indicator number 4, the table on the right-hand side is associated with the very last page. Again, this is one of the benefits of working with Stiefel, that they've been able to coach us, mentor us, and so again, not a big deal at all. Just I wanted to include that last page for any future clarification.
And most of this information, you said, is coming off the DUAB website, correct?
All of them.
So,
Yeah. So if you plug in, if you Google DUAB, you can get to the same information that's on here. I just copied and pasted these graphs into this report, this presentation, and there, like I say, there's a little the narratives off to the right.
so I guess I would suggest maybe we ask Stiefel their recommendation that I would like to potentially see that out on our website. I think that's good information. I think as we consider a referendum, we've got to be transparent and be able to know this frontward and backward. I don't know that I want to, push it tonight, but let's ask Stiefel if they have any concerns with doing that. But if this is readily available to the public anyway, and we've taken the time and consolidated it, put it in a nice format, I don't see the harm in putting it out on the website. I mean, you might have 2 people go look at it, but at least we can say we did it, so.
Are there any other questions or items of business that we need to take care of right now?